Good morning, and how's everybody doing today? We are going to be taking a look at a Masterverse Revelation Man-at-Arms. This Man-at-Arms, I believe, is the first Man-at-Arms that came out in the Masterverse series. Oh, we can see some dust here. He's been sitting for a long time on my shelf. I'm still working through some of the older Masterverse figures, the first waves that came out. We've already got the new Eternia Man-at-Arms unboxed, and we'll do a little comparison between this Man-at-Arms and the new Eternia Man-at-Arms, because there are some things I like better about this one, and there are some things I like better about the new Eternia. So we're definitely going to take a look at that stuff. As we go around to the side of the box, we've got this really cool profile picture of Man-at-Arms. That was one thing about this style of box, is that they did a really good job on the artwork. I really liked it. On the back, we got this really big picture. It says, Man-at-Arms, heroic master of weapons, bound by duty and honor to the royal crown of Eternia. The man whose friends refer to him simply as Duncan protects the realm under the mantle of Man-at-Arms, considered to be one of the most powerful allies in the battle against evil. Man-at-Arms is a warrior, an inventor, a mentor to Prince Adam, a friend to the forces of good, and a father to Tila and Roboto, and fights to protect them all. As you can see, here is the wave down here. We've got Spikor, Beastman, Skeletor, Tila, Man-at-Arms, and He-Man. As far as reviews we've got completed on the channel, the original He-Man's done. We're getting ready to do Man-at-Arms now. Tila's still to come. Skeletor is done. I have done the new Eternia Beastman, but we do still have the original Beastman to do. And the video for Spikor is up on the channel if that's something you're interested in checking out. And then on this side, it just says Man-at-Arms, heroic master of weapons. So we'll go ahead and get this guy pulled out of the box and take a closer look. All right, and there we have the Man-at-Arms, Duncan, pulled out of the box. Trying to figure out where we've got twisty ties holding him in. Looks like elbows and ankles are all we got here. So let's go ahead and pull some of this stuff out. And so his joints being really stiff, I can't even get his arm to move. And it should bend down right here. I don't want to break him, but there it goes. Man, that's tight. I felt like that was going to break for sure. All right, let's get him stood up here. There, we got old Duncan standing up on his own. And get some of these bands pulled out of the way. Just knocking stuff all over the place. All right, let's take a look at some of these hands. So for his left hand, he does have this little piece of like metallic orangish metal that kind of will match his gauntlet here. So those are for the left hand. We have an open hand, a gripping hand, and then he also comes with a fully fisted hand that will plug into that left side. And then as for the right side, he comes with a grabber hand, and then he also has an additional fisted hand for the right side, as well as an open slapper for the right side as well. So pretty good, 6 pairs of hands. 3 pairs of hands, 6 hands total. As far as his articulation, he can look to the left. he can look to the right, and he can spin all the way around. I was, like I said, a little leery about this arm because it was so stiff. Let's try this side. Much better over here. So I'm not sure. That one's starting to break in now. I think it's just because he's been sitting in this package for so long. Years, guys. Years he's been in the package. So he just kind of stiffened up a bit. So his arm will go up. It can rotate 360 degrees. He does have a bicep swivel right here. He does have a double jointed pinless elbow, so he can get a pretty good reach up. And I want to say it could be just due to the stiffness. He might actually reach a little higher than that. We can straighten his arm out. It will fully articulate at the wrist, as well as it will bend down. And then you can also bend it back, in case that's something you were wanting to do. His armor does a really good job of stopping right at the diaphragm cut, so you can't really see the diaphragm cut. I really like the way that they did that. As you can see, he can go forward, he can go back, left and right, and we'll take this armor off in just a second so you can get a better look at that. His waist will turn 360 degrees. I'm so used to popping the origins apart. I wish they did that with these guys too, so we could take the tops and the arms and all that stuff out. As far as the splits, pretty stiff legs as well, but he can do the splits about to there. He does have a thigh cut right here, so also very tight, but we'll get him broke in, guys. He does have that double jointed knee, so that works really well as the boot cut at the top of the boot. And then he does have a shin swivel. This can swivel around, it can point up, and it can point down. As far as some of his other accessories that he comes with, other than those extra hands. Let's see if we can get him to stand up here for a second. He also comes with this mace, which is pretty cool, pretty robust. Definitely a little top heavy, but I like it. It feels solid, it feels sturdy. No bending or breaking going to happen with this thing. Pretty heavy little piece of plastic, I would have to say. All right, now let's go ahead and take this back armor off. And that will slide right over his head, and then we can get a better look at Man-at-Arms Buck. You can see he does kind of have this metallic blue belt with the red and then the darker blue gems or buttons in the middle. That's pretty cool. I do like his arm guard here. I like the way that it looks with the darker, more metallic orange up next to that lighter non-metallic orange. I'm just trying to get it to go up on his bicep so it'll actually stay. That's one thing about Masterverse. These upper bicep pieces, they just never want to stay where you want to put them. It seems like they're always falling down his arm. So as far as his head goes, he's got a really cool face. It definitely looks like the first Duncan that we saw in the Revelation cartoon series. They did a really good job getting this face to look like that cartoon. I'm not going to pull off all of this armor, but it is removable. Right here, you will just unsnap that to pull that off. You can pull the hand off, and this gauntlet will slide right off. And then there are two straps here and here that will remove this knee piece of equipment here, this knee guard, shin guard. So that is Man-at-Arms, and we're going to go ahead and get his armor put back on him, and we'll go ahead and do a comparison really quick with the new Eternia Man-at-Arms. All right, here we have the two Men-at-Arms put together, so you can kind of look at them, tell the differences between them, see which one you like better, don't like better. Just to be honest, as we go down through here, I prefer this loincloth to this one just because we've seen this one so many times. I like when they do something different. So the new upgraded loincloth and belt on the new Eternia looks really good. I have to admit, I like that a lot. When it comes to the boots in the figures, I prefer the old boots on the first Man-at-Arms. I feel like these look more like He-Man boots. This reminds me of some kind of pirate boot or something. It's just not what I envision Man-at-Arms wearing. Now when it comes to the armor on the actual bodies, and I'll go ahead and turn them to the side just so you can see a little bit better. This is where it gets hard for me, because I actually believe that I prefer the armor on this Man-at-Arms. I like the two-tone orange. I don't mind this being a little bit more of a matte color. I do like the swords here, and I do like how they painted this little bit here on the front. But as far as that goes, I still think that I like this one better. All around this armor set, I just prefer this armor to this armor. I prefer this loincloth to this loincloth. I prefer these boots to these boots, and this shin guard to this shin guard. However, I like the face sculpt on this Man-at-Arms better, just because it reminds me more of the older Man-at-Arms, the Filmation Man-at-Arms, where this one is more of the Revelation Man-at-Arms. So what might be kind of cool would be just doing a armor swap. Go ahead, put these boots on this body, put this armor on this body. Probably keep this mace with this guy, but then keep this head on. Keep this head and leave this head on this body. I think that I might do that. I think that's what's probably going to happen. I'm going to put all this guy's armor and boots on this guy, and then swap the maces out, and I will probably swap out the wrist guards as well, just because I like how that's two-toned. I don't know, this one does match the helmet and the belt, but this matches in the middle, and then it has that little bit of two-tone. But that two-tone also matches this belt and this helmet, so I haven't quite decided. Maybe I'll just keep that bracer on there, but I think we are going to do a full armor swap. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, just so we can see what it'll look like. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and apologize now, because I went and messed that all up. What we were able to do was a simple head swap. I took the head off of this Man-at-Arms. The Revelation Man-at-Arms is right here. This is the new Eternia head, and I just swapped the heads out, because unfortunately the piece right here that is his shin guard is actually his molded leg. You can see there the ball joint and everything. They've made that his actual leg instead of a removable piece. And I'm not really feeling that. I like the removable piece better. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I think that we should see some brown going up in behind that. So I'm just going to have to show you what it looks like with the head swap, which I do like. I do like this head, and I'm probably going to keep the head swapped, to be honest with you. I like the way that it's looking like this. So I'm basically just going to do a head swap. The only other thing from this body that I was really interested in was this loincloth here, but I am not going to go through everything that you have to go through to swap loincloths. They can rip, they can tear, and you can totally ruin them. So we're probably just going to keep them set up like this. I may go ahead and just swap the heads right back just to keep them in their original forms. I haven't quite decided. I do like the way that this one looks better, to be honest. I just didn't like the smaller head. So this head is much bigger, as you can see. So I do feel like it looks better and fits better with this body. So maybe we will keep it on here, or we could just pop the boots off and swap the boots out. It's just, I'm going to have to go get some boiling water, and that's a little more involved doing all that. But you can see a basic representation here just by swapping the heads out. And I feel like this head looks better on this body than it does on this body. I don't even know why, but I feel like the smaller head looks better on this body. This head looks better on this body. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and get him back in his original form, and we'll go over our final thoughts. Alright, so here he is all alone. Going to go over our final thoughts. I think this Duncan's a win. This Man-at-Arms is awesome. I actually am going to have to throw it out there that I like him better than the new Eternia Man-at-Arms. I'm not exactly sure what it is about him. It's the armor, the boots, everything basically but the head I prefer to the Revelation Man-at-Arms. But I know a lot of people really enjoy the new Eternia Man-at-Arms, and the head sculpt on it is great. The color green in the body is really good. As far as the buck goes, I believe it's the same sculpt on both characters, just a slightly different shade of green. So just depending on what you're into, what you like, is probably going to affect how you pose your guy. I'm still thinking about popping and swapping those boots, but for now we're going to keep both Man-at-Arms the way that they came, and we're just going to display them that way. I've got a couple different dioramas set up, so I'm not going to have them posed together anyway. I'm going to have him set up with the Wave 1 Tila, and then the new Eternia Man-at-Arms, he'll be set up probably with the Battle Armor He-Man. So we got a couple different ways that we can do things here, and that's what's advantageous about having all of these figures. So thank you guys for checking out the video. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos, and we'll see you next time.